Right, folks. First of all, before I start my run, just to let you know that I'm going to be handing my hosting baton over to Luka, who we have here.
Yeah, I'm getting full privileges over everything in this call. I am your overlord now.
You must bow down to him with all your purple dragon goodness right now.
Yeah, so coming up is going to be Nost with the no balloon skip, so no balloons are going to be skipped in that. Then we got Spyro Orange and some more SRT. So Nost, whenever you're ready, feel free to count down and let's get some SRT going.
Awesome. Right, folks, I hope you're ready for some no balloon skipping, some NBS. I won't say much else what that means. But I hope you've all been enjoying Spyrothon. And I'm going to count down right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go.
Alright, good luck, buddy.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome, everyone. We have finally got here. We've got to me actually not hosting anymore. Finally, we're enough of listening to that guy. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, no, you're actually listening to me even more now. Uh-oh. Right. Anyway, so folks, first thing I'm going to do is skip Nestor, because who needs Nestor, right? You know, bye Nestor, don't need to talk to you. And then we're going to free Delvin, get a few gems, and then just go right into Stonehill, because, you know, it's just any percent, we don't need to worry about anything else. So basically, for you folks that don't know what I just did there, Nestor can be skipped if you basically jump at the very, like, just as you're starting to, you know, free him. If you get downwards momentum during the start of his cutscene, the game basically triggers, like, it sort of like flicks a switch in some way and basically says, oh yeah, skip Nestor's cutscene, we can do that. There is another dragon that you can do that in this game, which is Magnus, but we don't need Magnus, because he's technically done post-game, or after the run, and this is NBS. This is any percent NBS, so you don't need to worry about anything else. So, any percent no balloonist skip is very much a movement-focused run. You'll just be seeing me, seeing Spyro just charge through fields, collecting a load of gems. Well, I say fields, just levels in general. Collecting a load of gems, and freeing some dragons along the way. But the main requirements that dictate what things you need to collect or get during this run is all down to your level requirement moving into the next homeworld. So the first thing you need for artisans is 10 dragons. For peacekeepers, you need 1,200. For magic crafters, you need 5 eggs. For beast makers, you need 50 dragons. And then finally, to finish off, for dreamweavers, you need 6,000 gems. Now, what I'm going to be doing throughout this entire run is I'm going to be focusing a lot on collecting mainly dragons and gems. Eggs is also a bit on focus until Magic Crafters. When we get to Magic Crafters and collect all 5, don't need to worry about anything else. Literally just carry on going into Beast Makers and Dreamweavers, getting those dragons and gems respectively. And then to finish off, you just need to do your final Flame, Tenacity, Norp, and then the end of the run is that. It's essentially your equivalent to any percent actually on the original Spyro 1. Now, first of all, we got this trick coming up here. This is Nil's Balloonist skip. Balloonist skip? Fairy proxy, sorry. Balloonist skip. Come on, Nos, this is NBS now, come on. So here we go, I'm gonna do a little bit of proxy. We're gonna get a flick. Ooh, there we go. Thank you, Fairy, very, very nice. Balloonist in Town Square? I know, right, Salty? What's going on here? So, with that proxy going on just there, that proxy, basically, if you stand in a certain location within the within that platform, at the end of the cutscene, the fairy will basically flick Spyro up in the air. You can get him at many different places on those platforms. There are basically like 4 different types of platforms you can get. Platforms, many different proxies you can get. One of them is called what we dub the Yeet, which can kill or run. Thankfully, we didn't get this today, folks. This has just been a nice NBS proxy, I call it. And there we go. And that is essentially 11 dragons I got, because, you know, why not 11 dragons instead of 10 when Argus is there doing nothing? And there we go. That's Artisans done, folks. First trick in NBS is Balloonist skip, of course. I know, Lightson. You see, it's just how my brain waffles and doesn't think twice about saying. Run invalid? Run invalid? What do you mean, Green? Oh wait, do you mean that I don't have the FPS on the screen? It's fine, it's fine. This run doesn't need I don't have to have this as a verified run only leaderboard. I don't have the loadless timer up. Actually, I do have the loadless timer up, just not on the screen. So we need to worry about that. Anyway, folks, here we are going into Peacekeepers. I don't know if you saw as well, just as I entered Artisans, I had used the guidebook feature of the game, which allows you to basically quick warp back to the beginning of the homeworld, which is obviously a very handy thing to do. Saves you having to route all the way around and run all the way back through the homeworld itself. And here we are going into Dry Canyon with 187 gems. So our requirements of 10 dragons is complete. Obviously I've got 12 now. And then we're going to be heading into Dry Canyon. Yeah. So I hope you're all having a fab day. I hope you're enjoying Spyrothon so far. What's everyone's favorite run been so far that's been shown? To be honest, hosting all of them, I've been loving them all so far. And I can't wait for the rest of the Reignite ones to come up as well later on in the evening. It's a shame though that I'm going to be watching those while I'm going to be in the comfort of my bed because it's getting pretty late here over in the UK. It's getting very late. So another interesting thing as well about Reignite Trilogy, you will notice as well, within Spyro 1 in comparison to Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 in Reignited, you'll be seeing runners run this game at different frame rates. I'm running this game right now at 50 frames a second, whereas later on you'll be seeing Zik, Ham, and Asukero. If there's one more racer, I'm so sorry, I completely forgot your name. Who will be doing Spyro 2 Any Percent, which is ran in 30 frames a second, and you'll also be seeing Asukara run Spyro 3 Any Percent, which is also ran in 30 frames a second. Now, the reason why we have that in this difference in SRT1 is because there are certain jumps in 2 and 3 which need the extra amount of height, which is determined by frame rate, which in this game, thankfully, we don't get that very much. I was trying to do a flying skip there, didn't get it. Why not 60 frames a second? See, now Lord of Awesome, that's a very good question. Now, the reason we don't do 60 frames a second in any percent no balloonist skip is because when we reach Alpine Ridge, the game breaks when reaching a wall because the druid cycles just snap when it hits 60. Yeah, Green's got it right there. When it gets to 60, some of the druid cycles start to break and the wall just won't go down unless you change your frame rate. So optimally, we decided to change it natively to 50 frames a second. Kind of unfortunate really for PC version. I should also mention that as well, that this game is also ran on console version. So if you do have the console version of the game, for any percent no balloonist skip, this is pretty much the same route, bar one thing, which you'll see later on, like right towards near the end of the run, basically. So a trick you just saw me do right there was what I dub as triple threat, which is essentially 3 quite difficult tricks in Clifftown, where you have to do a jump, which is very close call if you manage to make it with the flutter. Get the firework, flame the firework right at the very bottom of the wall, and then get the thief and his animation skip. Alright, coming up here, do a little bit of magic stairs as well. There we go, that was some pretty magic stairs. No bonks. We don't need bonks in this game. Bonks are only used for flights, I hear, or going upstairs. You'll be seeing that a little later. And there we go, that's Clifftown done. No bonking allowed, yeah, no bonking allowed this run, folks. Only upstairs. Only for stairs. Bonk equals reset equals schedule breaks. Oh, Monka S. Don't want any schedule to break today. We're being so on schedule today. Right, and here we are going into our first flight of Reignited Trilogy, Spyro 1 Any Percent. Now, this is our first flight canonically. It's not the first flight in the game. The reason we do not do Sunny Flight is because the amount, basically, it's the longest flight in the game, and the amount of gems that you get from it at that moment in the game's time is just not optimal enough to collect. therefore we route it out, and instead we decide to just carry on with doing Night Flight and all the other flights as well when we get to it. Now, Night Flight is a pretty nice flight. It's structurally, like, route-wise, pretty clean. Other than the last bit where it gets a bit tight. You see that when I get to it? It's not the worst flight. As I say, the worst flight, I would, you know, a lot of runners I think can debate over this. I like to say that Wild Flight is the worst flight in this run. So yeah, this is the bit where it gets a little bit clean cut right coming up right now. So you get this lighthouse. You start. One feature we have within Reignite Trilogy, which is different than the originals, by the way, is charging. When you charge during a flight, you can actually get a very sharp turn quicker than what you ever would do generally in a lot of flights. Well, in the other original games, that is. Cool, and that's Night Flight done. Let's come out of that. So we're going to try and do another animation skip with this thief. Now, one thing with thieves is when Spyro is in the air, when you flame them, or when you collect their egg, the animation for the egg collection gets skipped. And the reason why, I believe that's similar as well with the originals. The only thing is, though, with Reignite Trilogy, no, is it the same time loss? I think it's the same time loss. It's about 3 to 5 seconds. Icy is best in OG objectively, done about in SRT. It's a lot worse in SRT, Phoenix, for definite. Right, I'm not going to do... There is a trick that I would go for here, but I'm only still learning it, so I'm going to just do this section instead. So now, here comes Shemp. If you all like Shemp as a boss, I am so sorry. We are not going to be fighting Shemp today. Maybe at Spyrothon 6, when we can get Spyro 120% going, we'll be seeing some Shemp. But sadly, not today. We'll just go to Trondor because we just need the dragon, and then we'll be on our way straight out. So I don't know if you saw what I just did there. With a lot of those guys, when they run off the edge, the gems automatically zoom in. They automatically home in, which is a really crucial feature within like this part of the run. So you don't really want to go and charge them for no reason. Justice for Shemp. Justice for Shemp. We need our thinks he's so cool guy with the glasses. I should also mention as well, if we did have Shemp on this stream, I think it will probably flag the stream for nudity. So it's a good thing we're not running 120. I think we've all, you know, we'll save that for Spyrothon 6, shall we? Right, next up is Ice Cavern. This is my favorite level in Spyro 1, I'd say, mainly for 120% reasons. However, in Reignited Trilogy, we do have a few tricks that are quite similar than doing in, obviously, in the original. One, for example, is a trick later coming up called Magic Stairs. Now, Magic Stairs in the original basically allows you to have to basically jump and charge to try and get as much momentum going across the basically the gaps between the steps. In Reignite Trilogy, we do pretty much the same, just instead of holding jump and charge, we have to constantly tell Spyro to jump. So you hold square and you have to keep pressing X button. Heads up as well, this game can actually be played with keyboard and mouse. So if you folks would like to play this game or run any % no balloonist skip with keyboard and mouse, be my guest, because it's not the easiest thing to do. I believe there's only like one runner at the moment I know who actually done that. Right, and here comes Magic Stairs, folks. M-A-G-I-C. I think we had a bit of magic from the fairies, folks. Absolutely lush. Right, and then we got this final little jump coming up here, which is quite nice to get. There we go. That was hecking magic. Nice. Thank you for... Oh, he's gone. Yeah. Let's have an F in chat for all of the dragons that we do not get to watch this speedrun. However, folks, that was Magnus there. If you know your Magnus. S. Okay, S for Spyro instead then. Cool. Well there, folks, that is Magic Crafters done. Magic Crafters? Nost! Sorry, I'm jumping the gun here already. Jumping the cannon, I should say. So that was Peacekeepers done. Sorry, my brain was thinking Peacemakers, and then I realized that's mixing two of the homeworlds, creating an item which, you know. Now I'm just waffling on one. Right, so as you saw, did another animation skip there? With that feat, and now we're entering in with Magic Crafters. So Magic Crafters, our main focus, is eggs now. Now, if you lot have been seeing, I've got 3 thieves so far, so I only really need 2 more. Now, if you miss any of the 3 thieves before this point in the run, there is a thief just after this level. After this level, you will see a thief that you basically will charge like directly in the same motion to, which is sort of like in your way. So if you don't get any of the 3 previous thieves, you can go and get that one. That's our backup thief. Sadly, I don't go for that one because I've not needed to go for backup thief for a long time. So instead, I'll get a few more gems out of that because gems are important, folks. Throughout this whole entire run, we've had to discreetly route this gem route. There's actually 2 different routes. I do one route, and there's another route which makes you get Marco in Clifftown and completely skip Argus, which by doing so, you will lose about 5 seconds, but instead you will collect 35 more gems, which is actually pretty optimal, to be honest. So if you want a little bit of a safer gem count route, then I would highly recommend that route. This route I'm showing you today is a very discreet route that I've basically been running ever since I picked up the game back in December 2018, and I haven't stopped since. Additionally, I actually have a load of tutorials on running this specific route as well. So if any of you are interested in doing any percent NBS, go and YouTube it up. Find my channel under NostTW. This is a very shameless plug. I'm so sorry, everyone. But you know, I've had a lot of runners here that apparently the tutorials have helped, and I'm kind of no advertisement. Sorry. Look, it's a tutorial. I want people to have a little look into running this game. Am I going to do Balloonist skip? I don't know, Lord of Awesome. The no Balloonist skip thing out on the bottom doesn't say so. It's not allowing me to, so that's a shame. And there we go. That is Alpine Ridge done. So next up we have, right, this thief coming up right here is our backup thief. I'm not going to go for him. Came here for Balloonist skip, can't wait to see it. Well, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. I will say though, if any of you lot want to learn to do Balloonist skip, it will save you doing this whole run by like 40 minutes. Interesting, that, isn't it? 40 minutes time save by turning your frame rate to 60 FPS and going up a wall and out of bounds for some bizarre reason. Anyway, here comes High Caves. High Caves is where cycles become a little bit important with regards to platforming. This is fine. This is fine, it's only cycles. Ugh. Shoutouts to the OG runners, by the way, because this route's very similar to OG any percent. 10 minutes means it must be easy. Oh, green, well, I've got news for you, my friend. I've got news for you, my friend. See, now here's the thing with Balloonist skip, right? If you want to get if you want me to show you Balloonist skip, you're probably gonna have to wait until like maybe never. Oh, look at that! What is that, Nost? You're cheekily just, you know, manipulating supercharge to like just swag your way around that wall. What on earth are you doing? So anyway, folks, here's Wizard Peak. This is where we actually get a little bit of an introduction now to some supercharge strats. Now in this level, we've got this very intricate trick called what is it? Lucas Hill. Does anyone know of someone called Lucas? Shout out to Lucas, folks, for Lucas Hill, you know. Shout outs to Lucas. Hands up in chat if you know a Lucas. I know a Lucas. There's a Luka in chat, that's close enough. Luka's Hill, yeah, that's close enough. See, folks, you now all know a Lucas, right? That's Lucas. Right, there we go. So, this is also our first death abuse in the game. I only do this, it does make you lose like 3 seconds loadless, but the reason I do it is to allow myself to get back to that platform, and here comes the dreaded, the almighty. That's basically near perfect. That was Lucas Hill, folks. Do you know, earlier in Spyro, I was mentioning this to Faulty and Phoenix earlier, right? The within the BRB screens, the break screens, Faulty's got some sections of the game which I'm looking at, and I'm just there like, oh, I'm gonna be running that later. Oh boy, the pressure, it's on, Spyro, it's on. Right, now we've got a second flight coming up. This is Crystal Flight. Crystal Flight's alright. It's not that bad. Thank you all for visiting my hill. Very cool. It was very cool indeed, Lucas Hill. Lucas Hill. We're renaming it now, folks. It's Lucas Hill. Getting it on like Spyro. Oh boy. That's going to be quoted out of context, I can already tell. Right then, folks, so here we are with Crystal Flight. Crystal Flight's, the start of it's a little bit awkward, but from then onwards, you know, it's alright. Just, now, fun fact as well, these shrapnels are probably the worst things, one of the worst things in this game. Because they can have a chance to knock you, and if they knock you, they can either plunge you into the water, they can either give you a massive momentum boost, or they can, in Wizard Peak, they can kill your run. Because there's this archway called the Devil's Archway, which if you get hit by, it can send you flying and miss, like, get extremely off cycle. Like, completely off cycle. And if you're someone, you know, within, like, the top few runs, your run's dead if that happens. In Wizard Peak, in Wild Flight, sorry. Yeah, I messed up my words, okay, folks? Deary me. Right, and here we are. It's time for Blowhard. Oh boy. This is possibly one of the nicest bosses, worst levels in the game. Now, these wizards you'll see coming up are honestly probably the worst enemies in Spyro 1 because their zaps are auto-aimed. And you can miss them all. if you time it right and can dodge them right. And also, another thing with Blowhard is perfect cycles. These platforms can be benefited with perfect cycles. I've just made that. You can make it a little bit quicker, but it's like, it's very hard. Quite a good Blowhard as well. I've only lost sparks twice. Well, yeah, 2 healths. Generally, I could do this bit with no sparks, but yeah, bit worrying when that happens. Starts with a W, all the same. Exactly, Nelly. Exactly. Well, there we are, folks. So that is plenty of gems before going into Beast Makers. And that's 5 eggs to allow me to go to Beast Makers. So here we are, finishing off Magic Crafters. Now, this is where we would see the difficulty slightly ramp up a little bit. First of all, we got is Terrace Village. Terrace Village is also a level that's dependent a lot on cycles and perfect cycles. Then we have Wild Flight, which is a flight which will allow it to describe itself. Because another thing with flights, the lower you go when flying a Spyro, the faster he'll go. So the one thing you want to do is fly as close as you can to the water without falling into the drink, which in Wild Flight is a bit of a challenge because it's Wild Flight. The run is like the level is basically always near as close to the drink, you know. Speaking of drink, let me have a little glug of some water. That was some tasty water, folks. Tastes like air. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, indeed. Shoutouts to Stay Hydrated bot. Nice bonk there, Spyro. I thought we said no bonking apart from stairs. Well, actually, that was a stair technically. Let's not talk about that stair. Right. Oh, I didn't get the perfect cycle there. That's not good. So that bit, Sparks is a little bit tricky because, oh, I did get perfect cycle. Just, question mark? Okay, I just got it, I think. See, I'm just as confused when, no. Well, I guess not then. So yeah, those Norks are a bit of an annoying one because their chance of zapping the floor gets increased the closer you are to them, which is always a bit of an annoying one. Yeah, that was quote-unquote perfect cycle. It was so perfect, I had to quote that. I get Bruno, and now we're gonna play around with some iframes. So folks, I'm gonna flame this one, and I'm gonna charge into this. And as you see, I didn't get hurt by the first chest knockback. That's manipulation of some invincibility. Right, and here we go. Right then, folks. It's time for Wild Flight. Is this flight pretty wild? Yes. Is it wild enough for me? Yes. Is it bizarrely wild? I don't know. I think we're gonna need a wild specialist for that. So yeah, so basically we're gonna fly as close as we can to the water without falling in. This is where, you know, This level is very much high risk, high reward, because if you do one thing slightly wrong, or if you fall in the drink, your run is gonna lose about a good amount of time. And the flight, as you'll see, will only take about 48 seconds in-game time to do. It's the quickest flight in the game. And also, big shout-outs to our IL runners as well, because without those folks, we wouldn't be knowing how to do these levels literally as quick as we can. There is quite an active IL speedrunning scene for anyone who wants to look into running SRT with regards to, I mean, you know, just flights. Right, now I'm going to try and do a flying skip. I'm probably not going to get this done right. And here we are, rescued Cletus. He is our 43rd running. Ah, missed the flying skip. That's 2 flying skips missed. Let's hope I can try and get nasty. He's our final one. So, for you folks who don't know what I'm talking about with flying skips is a frame-perfect trick where if you can get Spyro to touch a portal and then you basically start buffer, like if you press pause, if you can basically tell the game you are in Misty Bog while also still being inside of Beastmakers. And then if you quit the game and reload the game, you can skip both the flying animation and the load screen before entering the level, which loadless will save you about 4 or 5 seconds, but real time will save you like a good about 20 seconds, all depending on how good, you know, the computer you're running on is. I haven't tried to see if they're viable to do on console. I think they might be. I'm not entirely sure. Is there an optimal animation skip for Icy Flight yet? That's a very good question. Sadly, there's not. Back a few months ago, I actually had a chat with Toasted Cat about that. Who, big shout out to Toasted Cat. He's an awesome SRT runner. To try and have a think about this, he did route something, but the problem is that by doing the animation skip, you basically waste as much time as you would in the actual flight itself to get it than it takes for you to, you know, just play the animation and doing a very optimal route anyway. Which is sad to say, but we're looking more into it. Green, I'm looking at you. Let's get on it, man. Let's see if we can finally get an optimal animation skip in Icy Flight. I should also mention as well, Misty Bog is quite a difficult level. Probably one of the most difficult levels in the run. Alright, I'm on it. Good lad. Love those frogs, yeah, they're the worst. Frogs and the trees and the Norks, all of them. You've put 3 of the worst enemies in one level, you know. It really is the end of the game. That's probably why Stuart Copeland had made the motif the same as the credits motif. Just an observation and a speculation. Don't know if it's true. It's a children's video game. How hard can it be? That's the motto of speedrunning, Luka. Right, here we are with Treetops. Now, Treetops has got some nice supercharged tricks on it. And we've got 3 of them. Technically 4 if I can get it. But let's see what we can do. So the first of all we've got is part 1 of the Troublesome 2. Which is basically our supercharged trick to get to Jed as quick as we can. So what I'll do is I'll free Lyle. And there we go. Who needs the entire level when you can just do that, right? Oh, okay, Thief, he just was like, no, sorry, not today. Well, I'm getting you today, thank you, sir. Right, so that was part 1 of Troublesome 2. The next trick we've got is keyless. So you see the key that I've got? Yeah, you don't need that key. You really don't need that key. You can just, hog the wall, charge around this way, boom. 4 gems from that chest got. Now that key is going to stay in the corner of the screen for the rest of this level. Keys are very much optional. Right, this is what I will call the tree hug. There we go. There's our tree hug, getting those 2 5-gem chests with the supercharge, and this is our Troublesome Part 2. Shoutouts to Stone Knot. This is our trick that replaces Stone Knot in Reignite Trilogy. Nice. Very nice. That was probably the nicest treetops I've done in a while. Nice. That was a lush. He bonked. But that was an optimal bonk. That was a bonk to stop momentum, because this game has a very interesting moment where if you let go of supercharge, sometimes the game will keep you supercharging for like 3 seconds after you let go of square. Right. So folks, this is obviously it's Metalhead, but this is what I'd like to start calling the Jankman, the Jankman of the tin can. Jankman of the tin can. Good old Metalhead. So basically, the reason why we call him the Jank Lord as well. It's your choice which one you want to call him. He's got 3 names: Metalhead, Jank Lord, or whatever nonsense I've just said. But basically, with Metalhead, it's a good place for gems. The boss itself is a little bit janky because I hope he T-poses. Yeah, he can do things like that. He can also die in the middle of a lava pool, dropping all of his gems in a death flame. Which means that to try and collect as many gems as you can, you have to lose spark. Or potentially die. Which is probably the biggest curse in speedrunning that I've seen in this game. I've seen many runners get that. It's a common thing to get. Right, here we go. First phase, Metalhead. Come on, mate. That wasn't very fair. Come on. So that was a little bit unfortunate. I got hit by the guy, well, got hit by the pylon without it telling me it was going to go off, but that can happen. So this is the phase to look out for. If Metalhead does anything weird, then well done, folks. You've caught the stream at some marathon luck time. Even though this ain't a marathon, this is a showcase, marathon showcase. So if anything, it's a little bit more special, a little bit more something. Well, that's good. Metalhead has been nice to us today, okay? Metalhead's done the nice one. He's given us a solid. Metalhead was Metalhead for once. He wasn't anything we don't know. So we're getting up a lot of gems. Getting up around here because there's a 10 and a 5 that's quite optimal. There we go. Now, this is the part of the run where I now start to focus a little bit more on gem count, because the more gems you can get at this moment in the run, the easier it will be for your Jacques split, basically, which is your final level before you go into Nork Nexus. So I optimally like to go for, when I leave Beastmakers, 5,170 gems at least. If you get anything more than that, then you're on the roll. If you have anything less than that, it just means that you're gonna have to collect more gems in Jacques. Are you ready to go? Yeah, I should mention as well. You can get some audio glitches if you talked to the Balloonist too quick. Streamer, you missed a gem. Where? Was it by the dragon? Was it the 3 gem by the dragon? Right? I definitely missed a 3 gem by the dragon. I do that all the time, you know? $12 gem as well. No! Not the 12 gem. I liked that 12 gem. Right, no Dreamweaver's jump today, folks. I know a lot of you are a fan of it, but you're not getting it today. Red spring chest lurk. Ooh, actually, see now that's the thing. Do a lot of you folks know that the only red spring chest in this game, in Spyro 1, is in Lofty Castle, a level we are not going to go in. Sorry. Again, maybe in Spyrothon 6. I should also mention as well, there's this nice cheeky little thing you can do with cannons, right? There's a trick known as double input, which you can use both the D-pad and the analog stick to make Spyro move the cannon a little bit faster. You can actually go up to quadruple input. With that quadruple input, I would have to use both analog stick D-pad, the keys, the arrow keys next to the numpad, and the D or A buttons to all at once to make that cannon move as quick as it can. But you know what, folks? I do not want to put my feet on my keyboard. I do not have, you know, what I would call piano fingers, piano player fingers, to be able to, you know, do that. I actually did go to a marathon, a speedrunning marathon once, asking if I could cheekily use my feet as an extra input for at least triple input, and the person running it was like, no, don't you dare do that. And they're like, no, I need it for speed. This is a speed run, you know? So yeah, basically, heads up, I made this joke once, I'm gonna say it again, using your feet can actually get you a world record in this game, potentially. Feet for speed, feet for speed. And I'm gonna stop right there before that gets out of context. It's next level competition, Luka. You know, I'm still yet to see a runner who's gonna give that a go. I thought about it, but so, folks, 5,687 gems means that I need 313 gems in Jack. So what I generally would do, actually, before entering Icy Flight, I would start to calculate, because you get 300 gems in Icy Flight. I would then start to calculate what my gem path is from how many gems I need. Yes, folks, it's sad to, it's very sad for me to say this. You're gonna need a little bit of mental mass to do this run. Who wants to do maths in a speed run? See, this is the most bizarre speed run in existence, right? You have to use your feet to get world record. You have to do maths to be able to, you know, get a quite a alright time. Ugh. I think that's an alright gem count. At this point, oh, really? I wanted to... Can we all get some shame in chat for that bonk? That bonk was unnecessary and uncalled for. Just be speedy with a calculator. Jake, you're spot on there. I do have a calculator right here. Yeah, that's on gem count. That's 5 gems over. $319, 6,006. Nice. Isn't that your phone? Oh my word, Green, you're right. Hi Sonic the Hedgehog, what are you doing in a Spyro game? Fun fact, that was Roger Craig Smith from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Currently voices the modern Sonic. Unless you've watched the Sonic movie. But this is a Spyro stream, let's not talk about a different franchise here. I think the only franchise I may be allowed to talk about that's not Spyro is Crash here. I'm sorry, Luka. We'll talk about Crash then, okay? Right, folks, here's Delbin. Now, the reason why we free Delbin is if we don't free Delbin, the Twilight Harbor the head will not open. The only other requirement to open it up would be to get to North Cove's Whirlwind. So, folks, we have now got a trick here, which is a trick oh my goodness. A lot of you runners who also run this game know that this trick is a bit of a pain in the butt. This is the end of level wall glide for North Cove. This is a PC exclusive, so if any of you folks want to run this game on console, you can do the exact same route. However, you cannot do this trick. You have to go through the entire of North Cove as it is, sadly. But let's see if we can try and get this first try. No, guess not today. Not today. Rip. Oh my word, I'm screwing this up badly. Oh my word, Nos. No, don't go the other way, Spyro. Deary me. Could I just mention if I had any chance of getting a PB, I just lost it there, by the way. Yeah, Nally, that is honestly probably the worst trick in NBS. I'm plugging in my tutorial. I didn't say anything about my new tutorial. Also, folks, right now, this is another little discovery recently that I had a thought about. So now this Twilight Harbor route that I'm about to do is just the Twilight Harbor I would normally do. However, there is a chance that at this section coming up, a Nork can shoot through the wall at this bit, and he will snipe you trying to do this trick, literally first try. Which, if you get that, it's a bit unfortunate, which means you might have to slow your pace up and desync from that cycle before doing that bit. And I found out that's actually a PC issue. So depending on how good your PC is, depends whether that collision loads in quick enough. Also, I like this supercharge. Who else likes the supercharge? I like that supercharge. That's like the best reward that NBS can give you. It's a nice little supercharge towards the end. Right, so now we're on the final split of the run. Oh, no flying skipped this run. That's a shame. Oh well. Anyway, folks, we are at the very final split now of any percent no balloonist skip. Our main goal now is to toast that nasty Nork. So, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly get those keys. We're going to try and keep up to nasty as close as we can. And when we get to the very end bit, we'll go and give them that flame, all right? So, and also heads up to the organizers, time will come at the final flame at Nasty, alrighty? Alright, here we go. Jif thought I was going to click quit game. Well, Luka, the funny thing is, if I get to do flying skip, you have to quit game and then re-enter in again. That's how we do it. The worst thing to do would be to click exit level. If I click exit level, I completely break the game. Right then. So that's our first flame to nasty. Now I've got this final platforming section. Just a nice charge and jump across it. I'm gonna make sure I get to whack my splits on time as well. Right, nearly there. Is this one coming up? And time. Nice one. You're toast, Snork, and that's Spyro Reignited Trilogy 1. Any percent NBS done. Now we're going to go through the cutscenes because I'm just going to quickly go through this. And the last thing you do at the end of your run is make sure to get up that in-game timer. And there we are, right at the top corner at 27:18. And that's just a nice little comparison to console. And there we go. There you are, folks. That's any percent NBS done. Luka, you about?
Good job.
Thank
If you
you
did
very
a balloon skip, you could have done this like 25 minutes faster, but that's not a
Yeah.
my concern. That's not a my
We'll
concern.
wait. We'll leave that for, I don't know, some little 10-minute little skit or something at Spyrothon 6. Nah, it probably won't happen.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to, I don't know, look at speedrun.com to find out that run.
Yeah. If you want to plug your tutorials again, they know where to find you.
I've done enough of playing myself today, really, haven't I? I've been hosting. I've been doing a run. Just to let you know, folks, if you want to come watch me do more runs of this in NostTW, then go drop me a follow, lol. But honestly, thank you all so much for watching, sticking around in the GGs in chat. Thank you to all of the hosts and the organizers to allow me to stick around for this event and for helping out. And
Yeah, for sure.
Thank
you for doing a run.
The absolute blast. Cheers, my dears. I'll see you all soon.
Yeah. All right, that was Nos with SRT, no balloon skip. Sorry for everyone who wanted balloon skip. Next up is going to be Spyro Orange, the Cortex Conspiracy, with a CD Ramatron and Eraser. That's going to be a 40-minute race. It should be quite exciting if you haven't seen Spyro Orange. It's quite a game, that's all I can say. And after that, we got a SRT 2 and a SRT free, so stick around for that. We'll be with you guys shortly.